Rising Tide Leadership Podcast. My name is Mo, and I'm with my good buddy, Dr. Len Musita. What's up, man?
Yes, sir, man. Oh, always good to be on a call with you and recording some stuff and hearing from you about leadership. Excited to see where this one goes.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. I texted you like 2 days ago about what I'm calling the Lane Kiffin controversy. Now, we might be late to the party, but not really, because we've been talking about this for a little bit. So for my listeners out there who don't know who Lane Kiffin is, he is a college football coach who just left the Ole Miss Rebels and went to the LSU Tigers. And it's been crazy because he's been keeping people on edge. But that's just kind of how he is. Like he knows how to keep the spotlight on him. He's a brilliant offensive mind for college football. And so when he decided to leave and the way that it happened, he was kind of make a decision. He was waiting until the end of the season. He kept prolonging it and moving it back, his decision. And the school, Ole Miss, wanted to keep him. They were like, dude, what do you want? And of course, there were a bunch of other jobs that were open, LSU being one of them. LSU is one of the blue chips in college football. It's a great job to have. But I was thinking, man, I got to talk to Lim about this because the leadership implications were insane. So poor Dr. Lim, who's not a huge college football guy, said, Mo, I'm willing to talk about it. Send me the stuff. So I got a text from Dr. Lim last night. He said, Mo, it's all your fault. My entire YouTube feed is now Lane Kiffin.
And my Instagram feed.
Okay, so what do you think, man? I mean, from what you've read, what are your identity thoughts, your leadership thoughts about this whole Lane Kiffin controversy?
Okay, so just a setup for me is I'm not a big college football guy, so I don't watch it every week, but you don't need to be in order to jump into this the happenings here, and I'm still entertained by it, But I do have higher education experience, and I was vice president at a higher education institution, and so from that perspective, I have some maybe not insights, but I have a take and perspective on that as well. And then as a casual sports fan, I'm not really a sports fan. I watch it when I can. My wife and her family, they're not into it, so like it's hard to watch even the ones that I do want to watch, But lately I haven't watched it. But something interesting to me is whenever you listen, like sports talk radio is like a thing, and I am not into it. And it's always interesting to talk to my buddies and friends that are into it, because like if you sit and listen to it, and again, I'm not a big sports fan, but when I sit and listen to it, like almost all of it is conjecture, almost all of it is opinion. There's a lot of it that like they don't know, but then they go off of this is how I feel and this is what little I know. They could talk for hours and make arguments about it, and like people get like really fired up about that stuff.
Dude.
Oh man, like not just the people listening, but definitely the commentators and the people sharing stuff. And so like there's definitely a lot of identity and leadership implications for this story.
Yeah. So again, I mean, we're not here to say bad things about Coach Kiffin or about Ole Miss and how everybody views it. But I mean, Len, there's some fans that are saying, man, Coach Kiffin abandoned Ole Miss. And there's some leaders who are saying, look, the guy chose the environment that aligned with where he wants to go. And so, But people are like, well, he should have waited till the end. And then all of a sudden he said that, well, I took the LSU job, but then I told Ole Miss I wanted to finish out the year. But of course, Ole Miss doesn't want to do that because they're like, well, you're leaving. So why would we want to keep you on knowing you're going to be gone? You're just going to poach all of our players and our coaches. So everybody's upset. So one of the leadership takeaways that I had right away is that, okay, giving Coach Kiffin the benefit of the doubt. If this is how he's thinking, hey, I've got a vision, I need to follow it, then he's pulled by that vision, and not necessarily by comfort. He had 6 winning seasons at Ole Miss. He won, I think, 3 10 plus. He had 3 10 plus win seasons in a row. One of the best runs that any Ole Miss coach has ever had.
Yeah.
But hey, every transition is going to look like a betrayal, right?
Yeah.
And there were fans that were at the airport, Ole Miss. I think I sent you this one. There were Ole Miss fans. They were shouting at him. They were screaming. They were flipping him off. They were yelling obscenities. And Kiffin's just like, well, I got to go.
Yeah.
And it was the infamous, walk to the jet, and he took off. And so, the
walk to the private jet.
Yeah, rough life, right? I mean, I wish that when I got fired or let go or left, it was my private jet, but a little different. But here's the leadership question that I have for the audience, for the YouTube audience, and for you, Dr. Lem. Are you choosing your roles based on clarity of mission or fear of disappointing people? Because we're always going to disappoint people, unfortunately.
100%. Yeah.
What's your mission? So what are your thoughts on that?
Leadership, we keep saying leadership is hard. The interesting thing about this situation, the timing was whatever. The timing was not that great. But as I've watched these videos and as I've researched it, the thing that keeps coming up for me for or against this guy is the fact that he not only has a mission and a vision, he understands the current culture and the current climate of what's happening here. And I don't know that it's selfish as much as it is, this is the situation that's before him. And here's the deal. Everyone else is going to jump on this. Well, this is how I can exploit what's available to me. You know what I mean? So yes, he's a winning coach, but not only is he a winning coach, he understands the climate and the culture and the environment that he's in. And he knows the rules. One of the things in leadership is, man, if you know the rules and you know how to play within the rules, people are going to think that you're cheating, and people are going to think that you're working the system, and it's not working the system. It's leadership. It's being ahead of it. It's being forward thinking. It's having enough information that you can make the best decisions moving forward. So he's a winning coach, but he's absolutely going to kill it at LSU. And not only will he kill it at LSU, he's actually on the forefront of what head coaches are going to be doing in the next couple of years. Like it's big drama right now. Let's wait a couple of years and we'll see. Like a lot of head coaches will be like, hey, let's do what Lane did, because like he's absolutely killing it right now. Like, never mind whether he goes to Alabama next or whatever. Like the thing that I'm seeing right now is all the other head coaches are going to be doing what he's doing right now. I mean, you tell me tell me, am I wrong in saying that? And I'm not, again, I'm not a big sports fan, but I've watched it enough to know, I'm like, man, this guy's on top of it. Like everyone else will learn how to work the system and use what's available to him in this current climate and culture, to move forward. And I think he's going to kill it.
Yeah, he's actually on the cutting edge of what's going to be the next culture, which is the NIL. And if you don't know what NIL is, it's name, image, and likeness, which is just a fancy way of saying players are getting paid a lot of money now to play specifically football and basketball at these places. In fact, Coach Kiffin, I believe, if I'm not wrong, is going to get $25 million a year in NIL money.
That's exactly it. Yep.
That's the new culture you're talking about.
Exactly.
But back to talking about like Ole Miss, right? The Ole Miss players and the fans, they're upset. But yeah. I remember what Coach Saban from Alabama said a couple years ago when he and Miss Terry were kind of coming. Miss Terry's his wife. Even he calls her Miss Terry. She runs the place, man. She runs everything. She's incredible. But when they were getting ready to be done, one of the things that they were considering was that, and there's a famous quote, or not quote, but a little clip from Coach Saban, where Miss Terry came up and said, essentially, what are we doing? And Coach Saban, Nick said back to her, like, what do you mean? She said, we have all these players over at our house with their families, their parents, their moms, their dads, saying, we want to put into your kid for the next 4 years. And all they want to know is how much we're going to pay them. That's one thing. The other part about it was Coach Saban was in his late 60s, and people started asking after 13, 14, 15 years. He was there for 17. But they started asking, hey, Coach, are you going to be here for 4 years? If I come and play for you and I decide to make that commitment, are you going to be here?
Yeah.
Coach Saban turned it around on them, and he said to each of those players, he started saying, well, let me ask you this. If you come and play for me and I tell you I'm going to be here for 4 years, can you promise me that you're going to be here for 4 years and you're not going to go to another program? And when players had that turned around on them, it was like, oh, man. Because with this whole NIL thing, people follow money. Like gone are the days where you're one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in high school and you come and sit behind a quarterback for 1 or 2 years. No, these guys are going to say, why am I sitting? Let me go to this other college and get paid a couple $1 million if I'm going to sit, you know? And so,
exactly.
But check this out, Dr. Lim. Like there's a lot of, people that are hurt, right? And understandably so. But the emotional implosions that we're seeing make me ask the question, okay, there's unclear expectations right now at Ole Miss. Apparently they we don't want to be dependent on one personality. So I'm hoping Ole Miss says, we don't need Coach Kiffin. He was a great guy. He was a great coach. He's brilliant, but we're going to persevere. And this is a time for us at Ole Miss to show everybody what our internal identity is. You like that? Talking to the identity specialist.
I like it.
So what I'm saying is, like, this is the time, Ole Miss, where you get to say, look, we have a strong culture and we're going to survive this change. We're not going to just survive it, but we may seem fragile right now, but we're going to thrive through this. And so my leadership takeaway is, look, if a departure of one leader is going to destabilize everything and throw you off kilter, then the problem wasn't the departure. The problem was the culture. And I'm not saying that's Ole Miss's problem. I'm saying now is the time for all of these Ole Miss fans and for and for the players and the AD all the way up to the president, say, let's move forward and show everybody what Ole Miss is all about. And we don't play second fiddle to anybody. We're going to do it the right way. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. One of the things that, like I had mentioned to you, was, like, they're not going to allow him to coach. They're not going to allow him to be at that last game, which is fine. And people have opinions about, whether that bowl game would be worth it or not. And that's, it really doesn't matter. But the leadership principle that I want to highlight that I had mentioned to you is Ole Miss has some really good reasons for why they're not going to allow that. And Ole Miss wants to protect something. And here's the leadership principle. There's always going to be something that you as the fan or you as the person like watching this on the outside, you're not going to be privy to that information, right? There's some sound reasons for their moves. And maybe it's part of their leadership culture. And maybe it's a strong enough leadership culture where, like, we just don't need them anymore. If this is how it's going to, if this is how it's going to go down, then, like, this is how it's going to go down. And that's fine. But the leadership lesson, I think, for me, when I look at that situation, having been in higher ed and having been an administrator and executive in higher education, there's a lot of things that we can communicate as an organization that we can't, that we will communicate publicly. But there's a whole lot of things that are happening beneath the surface and behind the scenes that, like, we just cannot, for a bunch of reasons, we just can't disclose, protection and privacy, the Federal Education Right to Privacy Act. There's all kinds of reasons for why we can't share some of those some of that information. And so, when I watch what's happening, I'm like, the school's protecting themselves. They don't have to give any reason, and they don't have to give any more information than they've given. Like, that's going to be a leadership lesson for young leaders and for us as leaders to understand. Because, like, it's kind of crazy for us to get mad at something and get mad at an organization for not giving us this information, but legally they might not be able to. That's just part of leadership. That's part of being at an organization, and that's just a part of, like, doing business as an organization. You can't share everything. And so Yeah, I mean, people are mad about that, but like, there's nothing that they can do about that.
Yeah, I've got my closing thoughts, which I'll get to in a second.
Let's
But
go.
It's really gonna make people mad. So before I say that, let me talk about one more thing for all leaders that are listening. Leaders, hear me when I say this. You are always interviewing,
Hmm.
even when you don't realize it. You are always interviewing. If Coach Kiffin had 6 horrible seasons, well, then the administration would have gotten rid of him. So how can they get mad at
Exactly.
him when he does incredible and
Exactly.
gets a great opportunity? So leaders,
Yeah.
you're always interviewing, and man, good for Lane Kiffin that he has so many other programs that want him. Really cool,
Yeah.
because the coaching carousel is going to expose the truth that many leaders are going to forget, which is this: your reputation, your consistency, and the results that you have or don't have. That's your resume. Okay.
Yep.
So the reason that LSU wants Kiffin, it's no mystery. He wins. He develops
Yeah.
quarterbacks and offenses. I mean, he modernizes offenses. The stuff that guy does is just way beyond. And here's the thing: he brings excitement. He's jumping on the
Yeah.
sideline, throwing his clipboard in the air. He's celebrating with the guys. Man, that's incredible. And so again, another leadership takeaway I'd have, Doc, for this is look. You're always building the case for your next opportunity. Leaders, what is your next opportunity? Because it's going to be here soon, whether you want it to be or not, for good reasons or bad reasons. Either somebody else is going to want to take you away because you're awesome, or where you are right now is going to want to get rid of you because your resume speaks in that negative way. And so let me ask you this, Dr. Lim. Tell me a little bit more about what the administration's thinking about, because you have been in that hierarchy of the college world for a long time now, and you've mentioned some of those buzzwords, but like, what are they thinking? What is Ole Miss, specifically Ole Miss? Now, what are they thinking with this huge change that has just happened?
I mean, I'm going to make guesses, right?
Yeah,
They have to protect their reputation, right? And like you said, I don't think it's a sign of weakness or they're backing down, by not letting them coach. I think they have a plan, and they're gonna. I think they're gonna come away stronger from this. You know what? Coach Kiffin gave them an opportunity to be awesome. Bottom line, he just gave them an opportunity to like, okay, this is a great opportunity to do something different. Now we have an opportunity to just shine even brighter because of it. And so that's what I hope they do. And I think, I mean, that's what it looks like they're doing, protecting themselves, but then also like, okay, let's be smart about what we do next. And then let's just shine. This is an opportunity for us. This is not bad news. This is not something horrible that's happened. Like, we have an opportunity here. And honestly, they're getting, even though it's a story about their coach, they're getting lots of publicity right now, man. They're getting lots of views on stuff. Like, you cannot pay for this kind of publicity. Like, it's been days and it's still showing up in the feeds. Like,
yeah.
You can't pay for this kind of publicity. So, like, yeah, they're absolutely killing it right now.
And LSU plays Ole Miss next year.
Oh, let's go.
I mean, how imagine the run up to that. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's my final thoughts, and I want you to respond to that. Here it is. The organization has to respond with leadership and not be a victim. And let me go one step further. And this might make everybody mad, and I don't care, because nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares. Coach Kiffin, nobody is sad for you that people are hating on you because you made some bad decisions. You could have handled it different. Ole Miss, the athletic department and the school, nobody feels bad for you. You guys had Coach Kiffin for 6 years. You guys were killing it. Go. You guys are a multi-gazillion dollar operation. Go figure it out.
Yeah.
For the players. And again, I've been a coach for swimming and diving, right, at all levels, and for these players, look, nobody is going to care about you guys. You have to care about yourselves. You guys now have to respond in a way that's positive. Nobody cares. It's just time to work harder. It's not time to panic and play the victim. And this goes to everybody. Okay. For whoever it is, step back, regroup. Ole Miss, hire somebody who fits the identity that you want to build and get out there and show them that, wow, this wasn't exactly what we were expecting, but we're glad it happened because now we got to respond in a positive way and we're going to go tear it up. Your thoughts?
Man, the PR and communications folks at Ole Miss are having a good time right now. But the leadership lesson is like, take the time and don't react. Leaders don't react, right? And when you react, then you just have to, then you're just managing things, right? But I think they were intentional about the things that they've done. You know, that's why we have PR firms doing their work of helping us maintain that look and maintain like our brand. And that's all it is in this day and age. And if you aren't on top of what's happening in the climate and the culture that you're working in and in the niche that you're in, then you're missing out. And like, there's some really exciting things happening in the story like that'll definitely shape the future. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Well, hey man, appreciate you taking time. Thank you for letting your feed be overcome with college football. Makes me excited.
I was gonna say, I love your passion and I love when you get fired up about stuff. I've seen you do this for a lot of things, so it's great. I'm all about it. I'm in.
Yeah, dude. As soon as it happened, I was like, this is gonna be great leadership talk. We'll talk more about it, especially as it goes on. And now that you've got Kiffin in your feed, man, now I can keep sending you this stuff and
let's go
and mess it up, dude. We will definitely do another episode after Ole Miss and LSU face each other next year, because that'll be a fun one. But until then, for the rising
people
tide,
will be talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the audience, don't forget to like, subscribe, share for the newsletter. Don't miss anything. We give you all the good stuff and it's free. Dr. Lim, thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.